As I stated last night, this is really not a good time for myself nor the coaches. Very difficult time in trying to get down to the 53. You know, I mentioned to the guys last night that every individual in this locker room, all 90, deserve the right to be here. Um, all can play in the National Football League, but for whatever reason, we can only keep 53. And and it's been tough this morning trying to really get down. Um, I'm not in a position right now to share uh, who we cut thus far because we're still in the process. And when that's all completed, I will definitely share that information with you. With that, I'll take questions.
That you appear that like tomorrow morning, before that'll all be ready to go.
Well, I would definitely say definitely by Sunday because it's also the mere fact of trying to look at the waiver wire, seeing if guys out there that we want to try to claim, and it'll probably take until Sunday to shape it to where we want it, and identifying the 10 practice squad guys that we want, and trying to make sure that those guys clear waivers as well.
We announced the original 53 before that.
Say that again.
We announced the original 53 before you start doing all the.
I would definitely say that it would be announced before we take the field, of course, on Monday.
Is it anything harder about this now that you're a head coach than you've experienced in the
I think everything from a relationship standpoint. These guys have been here since April the 3rd. You guys have known me in a short period of time, and I express everything is about relationships to me. And you build that over time, and it's not all about football. You know, you get to know him as a person, as a man, as a father, as a husband, and it's difficult when you tell them that you're moving on. So that part, Josh, has been tough.
Matt McCrane tweeted out that he had been released this morning, and thank you guys for the opportunity. What can you say about what he did in camp in preseason?
Well, Bob, I expressed I wasn't going to talk about it, but you're persistent. Matt did a tremendous job, and I told him that. And I wanted to try to give him every opportunity to showcase his talent for other teams. And that's a lot of times you see us going for those long field goals because we believed in them. And when you have a veteran guy like Phil, who I think is consistent, who has really proven himself over the years, it's tough at that one position because exactly that's all you have is one guy. So I foresee Matt competing and kicking for someone in the National Football League this year. I talk to every last player that comes through. You know, again, the pro personnel talks to them as well. They bring them to me. I want to make sure that I sit down and communicate with those guys, and then from there I send them to the coordinators, to the position coach.
It's tough when you have to cut, but what is it like when you get to go to a bubble guy and go, you're on my team?
I think it's very meaningful. It shows that again, regardless of where you're drafted or non-drafted, priority free agent or just free agent alone, that you have an opportunity to make this football team. And you know, I talked about a few guys last night. You know, Zeke Turner, and I'm not saying he's on the team, but he definitely gave himself a great opportunity, as well as Trent Sherfield. So I'm excited when guys, you know, can show up like that, and it shows that we've done a tremendous job in an evaluation process as well.
There's always a situation, it seems, where you have. There's a few guys that weren't kind of bubble guys that you chose to make on the team, but then a couple of days later, other players become available. So it's not a sure. You must let them know it's not an absolute sure thing.
No, it's not. And to be honest, I always like being upfront and forward with the guys. I tell them all the time, we're gonna have a workout every Tuesday. You know, we constantly bringing guys in, you know, to really make sure number one, no one's getting complacent. When you have an opportunity to be here, we got to continue to work, and we're always going to try to find the best to continue to build the roster.
Coach, any update on the PUP guys?
Nothing. Everything is still the same. I mentioned last night, I think those guys should be ready to go based off our conversations the last couple of weeks. Talking to the players personally, they feel like they're ready. And I think we'll see exactly where we are on Monday.
Steve, as you kind of got in this job and talked to coaches about things they did you ever talk to coaches about cuts and how they handle them and what's the best way to do it?
No, that part I did not. I think to me it's not a script or a manual. The one thing about me, I try to be very genuine and authentic in my approach with players and just expressing the truth and how I feel about them as a player and a person.
Is there a decent amount of debate when it comes to these few final spots? Different people see different things, within the scouting or the coaches, and you guys have to try to hash all that out.
Yeah, you always have different opinions, which is great. That's what you want because people are going to see things differently. We gather that information. When I say we, I'm talking about Steve Keim and myself. We go through the process. A lot with me, with those guys, I look at, special teams value. Guys that if they're going to be here and particularly be up on game day, what do they bring? Particularly if you start talking about third running back, fourth or fifth receiver. Same thing with DBs, linebackers, the value.
What's it like for some of these bubble players to get through the last week? How do they teeter through their day-to-day life?
I think the approach is still the same, and I try to encourage those guys to do that, A lot of time guys start counting numbers, and that's what you don't want, Just go out there and perform and play. Stay true to the task, and most importantly, go out and take advantage of every opportunity.
Coach, you talked about a little earlier in the game that this could be his last opportunity. You think he made the most of this opportunity?
I think he did some great things throughout training camp. Again, he showed up in certain spots. We're still evaluating exactly how we're going to shape that room, and we'll make a decision here over the weekend.
One of the toughest rooms to shape.
It is, and I think a lot of it too is how guys stepped up and performed, particularly again Trent.
Is there anything special you're looking at how to build your practice squad?
Well, I think when you put guys on practice squad, and the term that I try to use with the coaches is developmental squad, and meaning that we're coaching future starters. I just mentioned about bringing guys in every Tuesday to work them out. But the biggest thing that we want to make sure that we do when we have injuries and those kind of things, that we can pull from the practice squad first. Those are the guys we want to put there that has been in the system, understands the terminology, and understands the culture as well, that we can just bring up and put on the 53. So that's the important thing.
What were you able to take from the preseason? What are some of the things you want to clean up going?
Well, I start with the things we want to clean up first, and really it's the penalties. We can't beat ourselves. I said before, it's hard to win in this league, and you can't compete against your opponent as well as yourself. So penalties, particularly the pre-snap and post-snap, we can't tolerate that. And I think, we got to convert on third down. That's one of the things that's been hurting the offense a little bit. Tackling on the defensive side of the ball, from a positive, we got to continue to create takeaways and protect the football. All right, a team that doesn't turn the ball over and a team that does take the ball away has a very strong chance of winning the football game.
So overall identity, you think? Is the team close to sort of forging an identity yet?
I think we're on the verge. I think the most important thing when you look at our physicality, you just don't sit on the defensive side of the ball, Paul. And as a defensive-minded coach, I think, the influence on the team, you can see it, particularly up front with the offensive line, the mindset of coming off the ball and running the football, receivers blocking, which you don't get a lot of. And I think the identity is there. We just got to continue to emphasize it.
Coach, Friday night's a big high school football night here in the Valley. What do you remember about your high school days, and what advice would you give high school football players these days?
Man, to really just cherish the moment, you just taking me back a little bit there, Cameron, and just, man, it was so exciting, I don't know if they still wear the jerseys to school on Friday, but you wear your jersey to school, and everybody saw you with your jersey on, so that was important. But you had your pregame meal and leading up to it. So the band playing, the cheerleaders out there, very exciting time. So hopefully I'll be able to get out at some point in time and enjoy the area and see some football. I know out where I live, Chandler, is pretty good football out there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Any injury updates from last night?
Oh, not right now, no.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.